Okay, so I thought that we would look at some of the signature, or I like to call them holy grail pieces of my collection. Some of these things are not necessarily the most valuable, not necessarily my favorites, but kind of a mix between both of what's a little more valuable, what's more favorite. But these are some of my favorite pieces, some of my most valuable and significant cornerstone pieces of the collection. I wish there was more room because I've got a lot of them, a lot of cornerstone pieces. I could fill this whole room with them. But here's the kernel, the acorn. I guess right here. We'll start with these. I collect Hulk and Iron Man comic books. Those are my two favorite comics to collect, and I have nice runs of them. These are some of the oldest. This is the second oldest Hulk I have, and this is the second oldest Iron Man. I just love that cover with Hulk and Iron Man. I'm really a classic Iron Man guy. When Iron Man went to the Silver Centurion and became more mechanized and more modern and more logical, that's not really my Iron Man. I like the classic Iron Man, the round head, the widow's peak. That's really my Iron Man. So a couple of my favorite, oldest, most valuable issues. And then this is Star Wars syndicated, that ran in newspapers. A lot of people don't even know that Star Wars was syndicated and ran in newspapers, not for a long time. I'm thinking maybe about a year. So here's the Sunday of this particular week, and then here's the 5 days of the week of that particular week. Now, interestingly, sometimes these stories, let's see, if you look, the week was the same thing as the Sunday was the color version of the week. So kind of have part of the same story here, but these are both of the same week. And oh, I don't even remember what this is. I think this is about 1983. Maybe 1984. I've got some more of those, but there's a couple of those. These are all original G.I. Joes. The boxes are reproductions. The dog tags are reproductions. But the clothes, the hats, the boots, and the figures are all original. These two are both TMs. TMs are the first and just a little bit of the second year that G.I. Joes were ever made. So these two guys are some of the oldest ones you can get. This guy's the Action Marine, and he is in virtually mint condition, really virtually mint. These manuals are the original manuals. If you see, his index finger is broken off. Now, I have his index finger, and I'm going to super glue it back. But I haven't done that. That's the only thing wrong with this figure. His joints are nice and tight. He's TM. His uniform is TM. This is my favorite single item. This is the Joe that I bought at that flea market when I was about 18 or 19. And I've managed to keep him all these years. This guy is the Action Soldier. He's all original, has all of his fingers, obviously. His dog tags are a reproduction as well. The hat, the uniform, and him, original. Boxes of reproduction. Original manual. This guy, maybe 1965, maybe 1964. He's one of the later TMs, but he's still a TM, so he's one of the original ones. Now, this guy is Black G.I. Joe from the 70s. This is the Adventure Team G.I. Joe. He's original. His uniform is original. His boots are original. The dog tag, the gun and holster, and the box are reproductions. I don't have a lot of original G.I. Joes, but the ones I have are good ones, and I've managed to get some reproduction boxes. These are just beautiful figures. Love them, love them, love them. These are the absolute single favorite thing that I collect, are my original 12-inch G.I. Joes. Now I have some baseball and football cards here, mostly baseball, a little bit of football, a little bit of basketball. But what I want to do is just pick up some of these, and I just want to read you some of the names. I have a lot of good cards, a lot of good names. It's funny with eBay, I started collecting baseball cards years before eBay, and they're pretty pricey. It's pretty hard to find those really, really good cards at a good price. Now with eBay, it's really, I don't know if you would say it's destroyed the market, but it's definitely redefined the baseball card market. But we got Larry Bird, Joe Montana, Reggie Jackson, Dizzy Dean, Pete Rose, John Elway, Babe Ruth, Dizzy Dean, Reggie Jackson, Ken Griffey Jr., Babe Ruth, Willie Mays, Franco Harris, Dan Marino, Michael Jordan, Babe Ruth, Steve Young, Michael Jordan, Shaq, Michael Jordan, Shaq and Cindy Crawford, Joe Montana, Rogers Hornsby, Michael Jordan. Here's another Michael Jordan, Shaquille O'Neal, Rogers Hornsby, Hank Aaron, Babe Ruth, Willie Mays, Hank Aaron, Cal Ripken Jr., Michael Jordan, Lou Gehrig, Ty Cobb, Bo Jackson, Cal Ripken Jr., Shaquille O'Neal, O.J. Simpson. This card used to be worth about $50. Since now, nobody really wants to celebrate O.J. Simpson, this card, a couple of bucks. I think I found it on eBay for like $2, and I was like, oh wow, and I think I paid about $50 for this when I bought it, 45, 48, something like that. Can't win them all. Willie Mays, Mark McGwire. I have a lot of great cards, and I love baseball cards. So that's some of those. Sorry. Okay, this, really cool. These are G.I. Joes, 12-inch G.I. Joes from the 90s. These are the only two female G.I. Joes that they ever made, short of this female nurse that they made in the 60s, and they re-released her in the 90s. But other than that, these are the only two female Joes that they've made. They may have made a couple of females, like in the last 4 or 5 years, that I don't know about. But as far as I know, these are the only two. These are just beautiful figures, man. This is the British SAS. She's totally complete, all original. And I mean, she's just a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful figure. This is the helicopter pilot, and this is the red hair version, and they've some nice detail there. I mean, that is just, I love these figures. I was lucky enough to find these on the shelves. I, however, was not lucky enough to save the boxes. I probably bought these around 1995, 1996. At that time, I was saving no boxes. But the boxes for these aren't really, I don't really think they're really significantly special, but it would be nice to have them, but I don't really care. I'm not in love with the boxes. I'm in love with the toys. So here's some Evel Knievel. I never had this when I was a kid, but almost every kid in that era had this toy. This is the stunt cycle, and you crank it up. Evel Knievel sits on the bike, and boom, he takes off. He does headstands. He flips around. Kids destroyed these things. These were great toys because you could destroy them, and they would survive for a while. But eventually, kids destroyed these. This one isn't in great shape. The bike is just barely tolerable, but he's complete, and I'm slowly but surely I'm going to get and replace this whole set. So I have a great mint condition of this toy. One of the greatest, funnest, most ingenuitive toys and successful toys ever made. It was a shame that Evel Knievel kind of screwed up, beat up some guy in a parking lot, and all of a sudden his toys were no longer popular because no longer parents didn't want Evel Knievel to be an idol to their kids anymore, so Evel Knievel just kind of dropped off the face of the map, which makes the toys even more awesome because all of a sudden they just kind of went away. But this is the Dragster, and he's in there, and this is the funny car Dragster, and the figure, and this is in great shape. Decals are in great shape. A little bit of rising there, but no big deal. This is such a, I mean, I just love the Evel Knievel stuff. The Evel Knievel comic book from Marvel. So that's just, Evel Knievel rocks. I love Evel Knievel stuff. He was super big when I was a kid in that Star Wars Kiss era, so naturally he goes along with it. Next we have, this is the original Kiss lunchbox from the late 70s, and I have the thermos, which quite often you don't have when you find this. I paid $125 on eBay for the thermos and the lunchbox. That was a pretty good price. This has got some rust and wear, but I've seen some of these for sale for about $200 or $300 that are in just pristine shape or just really good shape with no rust spots. But honestly, this is from the 70s. I had this lunchbox when I was a kid. I want it to have a little bit of age on it. I don't know if it would be as goosebump inspiring if this thing had no wear on it. It would be worth 4 times as much, 5 times as much, but I don't know if it would do it for me that wonderfully. But now that's not the coolest thing. The coolest thing about this is that the Mad Monsters convention came to Charlotte last year, and I had the fortune of meeting Mr. Ace Frehley himself, and he signed this. And he doesn't always put the Ace card on there. He did for me. He did that day for me. So this is, I mean, you know, monetary value, boom. I don't know what it is, but it's probably about 200 or 300 because it's Ace Frehley's signature. And it's a nice signature. I mean, it's nice. He didn't just blow, you know. I have Paul Stanley's autograph, and Paul Stanley's is virtually unreadable. Ace's is readable. This is just beautiful. I love that thing. This is Kiss's first appearance in a comic book ever. This is Marvel Comics, Howard the Duck, issue 12 and 13. They came in on the last page of the story in this issue, and then they are the centerpiece of the story in the next issue. Both of these are high grade, really, really good shape. And these are the very first appearance of Kiss in a comic book ever. I actually had those comic books. I bought them off the rack from a 7-Eleven when I was a kid. I remember them, love them, and these are the prices that I paid for them 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Okay, so here we have the 1982 Boba Fett's Slave One by Kenner, the 3-inch Star Wars line. This is all complete, and it is beautiful, but it is dirty, and I do not know how to clean it yet. As soon as I figure out how to clean around these stickers, I'm going to. Here's Boba Fett, and this is the Carbonite Han Solo, and also have the Hispanic and the black Cloud City Guard, which I only saw the Cloud City Guard once ever, and I had the opportunity to obtain him, so I did. Here we have Marvel Star Wars. I have the complete run. This is the first issue, and this is the last issue. And this is a really, really good shape for this issue. It's really quite hard to find. I don't remember what I paid for it, but I know it was too much. I love the Marvel Star Wars comic books. They're my favorite Marvel Star Wars. Dark Horse Star Wars comic books are awesome. Artwork's awesome. The stories are awesome, but I really love the old Marvel ones. Okay, this is the Kenner Star Wars 3-inch figure Death Star playset. This is almost complete. I'm missing, the only piece I'm missing is the green trash compactor monster. I have the decals that go in here. I need to reattach them, but I have this. This is complete. Here's all the figures there. The Stormtroopers, Leia and Luke back there. Darth Vader, Obi-Wan, the Death Star Commander, the Death Star Gunner, Death Star Droid, C-3PO and R2-D2. I apologize for how dirty these things are. They really need to be cleaned, and that's something that I am going to be doing in the future. But I apologize about the dirt there. This is contemporary. I think I bought this last year or the year before. It's the retro packaging, but it's a new Darth Vader figure. I got this at Walmart, but I had the wonderful opportunity to meet David Prowse at the station, at the TV station where I work, and he signed this for me. And there, Dave Prowse is Darth Vader. He said, "Don't you have a silver pen and I'll sign the front?" And I was like, no, you know, because the artwork on these retro cards is so awesome. I was like, no, sign the back. And I actually have a photograph of him signing this, and then I went to the convention and got an autographed picture of him as well. So that's just awesome. I mean, David Prowse, the Darth Vader, signed that. Awesome. This is the first edition hardcover Exorcist. This is the very first edition that was put out. In my opinion, The Exorcist should be compared to Frankenstein, and Mary Shelley should be compared to William Peter Blatty. Frankenstein is probably one of the greatest pieces of horror literature. The Exorcist, probably the second, if not the first, greatest piece of horror literature. Scared the crap out of me when I was a kid. The movie scared the crap out of me when I was a kid as well, and it's stuck with me ever since. Maybe my second favorite film of all time, next to The Empire Strikes Back. But I have William Peter Blatty's autograph, and this is from a postcard from 1977. So it's a nice vintage autograph. This is in great shape. Got this off of eBay. I'm not sure what I paid for it, but I don't think it was very much. I got a good price on it. But William Peter Blatty's The Exorcist, man. Oh man, what a book! What a book. Okay. So moving on here, these are some Mego figures. Mego is some of my favorite, one of my favorite toy lines next to G.I. Joe. These are all original figures from the late 70s and early 80s. My favorite guy of all, Incredible Hulk. Now, I had him when I was a kid. I had this figure, and he was one of my favorite toys at the time. My brother, for some reason, like brothers will do, stole him and hid him under the house. I remember just wanting to know what happened to him and missing him so bad. And I found him about 10 years later when I was a teenager and we were cleaning out under the house. I found him. So whenever I look at this figure, all of those emotions come back of losing him, having him, wondering where he went. And now I have two. So that's part of probably why I have two, was just to overcompensate. But if you look at him, he's dark. The Hulks, these Mego, these old plastic, the colors would actually change with sun damage. Look at the difference between the forearm and the upper arm. That's a big difference with Mego figures. Now look at this Hulk. His arms are the same color. He's not darkened and stuff. You know, the colors are still nice and bright. And that's kind of why I have these two is for a comparison between the two. But, you know, if I find another one, I might, you know, try to get him to. I'd love to have three. Here's a couple of other Mego figures, some of my favorites. Spider-Man, and he's in great shape, and I had this as a kid and just totally dig on these Mego superheroes. Iron Man, and he is pristine, complete. I got him off of eBay. I think I paid $125 for him about 2 years ago. Love this figure, man. He is just so awesome. And then The Thing, and The Thing is one of my other Marvel characters that I really dig on collecting. I've got a good bit of Thing stuff, and I had to have a Mego Thing. I got him for a great price on eBay, but man, what a cool figure. And then these are some other figures from the 70s. These are figures that I had. I had all of these as a kid. Not specifically, but I had some of this line when I was a kid. This is a Big Jim, and this is his enemy, his bad guy, and I don't remember what his name is, but these are just awesome, quintessential 70s action figures. A lot of people don't remember Big Jim. The people that do remember Big Jim dig on Big Jim, but if you collect 70s figures, Big Jim is one that you probably want to note. I'm sorry, I'm going to back up just a second here. This is the Mego Romulan. This is the original Mego Romulan. This is about a $600 figure. On eBay, they go for anywhere between $400 to $1,000, depending on the condition. This guy is absolutely mint condition. Little bit of the loss of the gold plating on his helmet, but other than that, he is mint and he is original. This is probably one of the most valuable pieces I have, without a doubt, if not the most valuable piece. I also have to point out at this point that my brother David collects toys. He collects, right now he's into Legos. At one point he was into Ultimate Soldiers. At one point he was into Mego and Star Trek. And my brother David has given me this. And my brother David has also given me a lot of the stuff that I have over the years. He gives me toys for my birthday and Christmas. Nobody else does, but my brother does. He's one of the few people that really, you know, supports my habit. So every now and then I'll point out, I'll say, David gave me this, or I'll say, that's from David. When I say that, that is meaning that this is something my brother gave me, and it'll happen a lot. You'll wait and see. Next here we have, these are from the Johnny West line. This was from Marks. They made a lot of, they started oh boy, they started early making tin figures and little plastic figures. Marks was actually one of the first companies to license Marvel and DC superheroes. But these are Mark's figures. It's from the Johnny West line. This is General Custer and this is Black Bart. They're just great figures. I love the Johnny West line. We'll see some of those later. But these are just great quintessential 70s figures. And then, of course, we have Steve Austin, the $6 Million Man. I don't know anybody that digs on toys that doesn't dig on the $6 Million Man. This is the astronaut outfit, and I have some more, the gloves and the helmet. This is the standard issue Steve Austin, and he's in good shape. Their limbs are in good shape. I have his robotics for his arms and stuff, but I have them in a bag separately. You know, I hate for I have 3 dogs. You know, I'm a little paranoid about little pieces falling off and disappearing on the floor and getting eaten. So, but okay, a little more wordy than I had hoped for, but this was the quintessential of the Nut collection. This is, you know, the some of the pieces that I thought were really kind of point out some of the variation of my collections. I thought that these pieces would be some good pieces to signify some of the main areas of my collecting. And as well as some of my favorite pieces, and maybe some of the most valuable pieces.